Hello guys, Nato Ace here, and this will be a commentary number 2. Technically, doing a correction commentary on my introduction commentary for episode 230, Go SEGA, the 60th anniversary of the company. So what I'm going to do is, for each introduction I did for the 4 games, I'm going to do some correction and clarification of what happened there. So starting with this one, Street of Kamurocho. Hello guys, Nato Ace here, and this is episode 230, celebrating the 60th anniversary of SEGA as a company. So this one's gonna be some sort of commentary because I want to give my explanation and thoughts on what SEGA did offer during the celebration. So of course, SEGA Go is just a pun to SEGA 60 because, again, the 60th anniversary. So the backstory with SEGA, for some people might not know, is that it used to be a military company in the West. That's a shocker there. So if you read the history of SEGA, there have been textbooks about that. Then, so that's why it's 60 years there. So during this anniversary, they actually did offer some free games, celebration of the company, plus sales. So of course, like I said, there were free games that they offer. There are some like legit free games such as Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Nights, even free DLC for 2 Point Hospital. But Sega also offer exclusively on Steam for, let's just go with, ROM modification games, and offer for free for limited time. So what you see here right now is what they call it, Street of Kamurocho. So at the get-go, you know what it is. It's Street of Rage, but set on Kamurocho in a graphic of Street of Rage 2. And when you start the game first, you get to pick either Kiryu or Majima. But once you finish it once, then you unlock a third character, which is Ichiban from Yakuza 7, like a dragon. So for this game, it actually just has one level, but there's actually online ranking. So that's probably the only reason why you want to play. Plus, it's really fun. So it's one stage, a really long stage, and all the setup, believe it or not, that if you really look at it technically, it is this first stage of Street of Rage 2, but again, just set on Kamurocho. So they use some of the sprite, then made it to Yakuza characters, and then in the end, I think Nishiki, Kiryu's like old brother from the first game. So and then once you beat that, you start over, and then you beat it until your lives ran out, and then you put your name on the online ranking. So that's what Street of Kamurocho is. It is really fun, and like I said, all these games I'm going to be giving my explanation are free for limited time during this anniversary. So if you missed the boat, I feel for you, but Sega was promoting it on social media, on their website. So so here's the first game. Like I said, Street of Kamurocho. So yes, the truth behind Sega is, yes, it is true, they were created in 1960, but this is from a textbook history class that I took in college. But it's also a lot of Sega experts kind of tell the story that Sega actually was a U.S. company. They were doing gaming programming and gaming accessories, if that makes sense, but for military facilities. But once in a while, they'll sell their product to commercial use. But they usually mostly associate to themselves as a military facility freelance or sellers. So that's what it is, and that's actually the truth about behind it. You can look it up in the internet as of right now. So Street of Kamurocho, like I said before, is Street of Rage 2 Stage 1. They just reskinned it with Yakuza character. You can play as Kiryu, you can play as Majima, and like I said before, even in that introduction, if you finish the game once, and it's only one level, you unlock Ichiban and you get play as that character. You can see it on the showcase there. it is what it is there. That was actually a correction there. No correction really needed for that particular segment. And yes, like I said, during 2020, SEGA was offering free games, free DLC, sales on some games, and for what they call it, mini games. I know I call it sort of a ROM hack type of game, but because it is sort of a ROM hack, that's the reason it. But what officially they call it from SEGA is mini games. So I mean, because they're small games, makes sense. But again, potato, you decide. So the second game that I showcase is called Armor of Heroes. So it's actually sort of a sub-word title from Company of Hero, which is from Creative Assembly, the tactical game. So for this one is, what they did is they used the asset from Company of Heroes and make this some sort of mini game. And what it is sort of a tank battle game. Those casual one, you play it on Replay, on Club 51 on the Switch. So anything that type control game, or better yet from the Atari, I know I feel old, Combat. So that's what Armor of Heroes is. It is a 4-player game. You just playing as a tank and you just keep shooting on other tanks and to get a high score until time runs out. Nothing really else to say about it, but like I said, the sort of gimmick here is that the asset that you're looking at, what they're using, is from Company of Heroes. They just made this some sort of mini game. You know, you play as a tank, you hit other tanks, score points, and there you go. So yeah, nothing much to say about it, but it is sort of interesting. Like I said, it is free. Armor of Heroes is, like I said before, it is based on Company of Heroes. So this is a mini game, a tank battle game. So like I said in the introductory video, it is sort of playing a tank battle game. We play any indie downloadable tank game, and like I said, even in Club 52, 51, 52, I think it's 52 games, I can't remember. Good casual game from Nintendo. Used to be on the DS, but that's a different story there. I like that game. Highly recommend it if it goes cheap, but beside the point. Yeah, it's a mini tank battle game. It actually has 9 modes. Each one has a different rule. And technically for this one, it's sort of a good game when you're playing with friends and streaming it, you know, for entertainment, whatever reason, you know, because it's a simple game, it looks fun to some extent. But the whole point of Armor of Heroes is that the asset they use are from a game called Company of Heroes. The mistake I did that one is the developer. So the developer for this game is Relic Entertainment, not Creative Assembly. Creative Assembly are known for the Total War series, so I kind of mixed up the two companies because they're both doing strategy. But the thing is, they also were owned publisher by SEGA. So the next one here, you might recognize it as a SEGA Classic fan, but for somebody new, you might say, wow, this looks good for a free game. Why would this be free? And the reason why is, well, the game is based on a existing game. So this one is called Endless Zone. So for people who don't know what to do with that one is, it's based on a classic Sega game that's from the arcade, as well went to Sega consoles, and that is Fantasy Zone. So if you play the Yakuza game, then you should know that if you go to the Sega arcade, there is a mini game that you can play as Fantasy Zone. And of course, spoiler to any Yakuza fan, you play Fantasy Zone in the Yakuza game, you can sort of get some points, you unlock stuff, but that's, you know, it is what it is there. But yeah, so what you're looking here is Endless Zone. Sort of a, I guess we'll go with a mature type Fantasy Zone, because all the theme looks like sci-fi, looks like realistic. I mean, probably either you're looking for Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers, or Star Trek. But the gameplay itself, it plays like Fantasy Zone. So again, if you know how to play Fantasy Zone, this is how it plays. For people who don't know what it is that you have to shoot 8 like big bosses, and at the same time you have to avoid the enemies, and then there are coins you get because you're gonna need that to power up your ship. And then once you beat all like the big bosses, there's supposed to be the super end boss, and then you have to fight it. Again, it is the same thing, but when you're looking here, it's like, oh wow, like the theme is very different, but the gameplay, it is Fantasy Zone. So again, like I said, it is free, and if people miss it, I feel you. But like I said, for people who played it, people who have it on Steam, if you like Fantasy Zone, I know you're probably going to enjoy this too. Endless Zone is actually a parody to Fantasy Zone. So in that part, on the introduction commentary, that was actually right. The problem that I made a mistake there is that there was more than meets the eye about the Endless franchise. So in that one, I just said Endless Zone was just a space adult theme of Fantasy Zone, just more sci-fi than fantasy. I mean, granted, because of the look. However, apparently, the reason why the name is Endless, it is based on a franchise that SEGA owned, developed by Amplitude. And I think the reason is it's on a Steam game, so it wasn't really shown for console, probably. So, I mean, for me personally, nothing personal. I do know more and follow more of console gaming versus PC gaming. So anything that's sort of a Steam exclusive, I kind of know, but a little bit. So with this one, I have been not following this. I even never heard of it until now. Again, well, I mean, granted, that's why I created the Megamix Game Showcase version 2 because of that reason. But that's the point. I didn't know about the franchise that Amplitude did. And they call it the Endless franchise. So they did some of it, such as Endless Dungeon, Endless Space 2, Endless Legend, and Dungeon of the Endless. So you kind of see the pattern there, endless. And I did not introduce that on the video itself for Endless Zone. So you might say, is it really a big deal? Well, the whole point of me doing a introduction commentary is to give people information about games they might heard, they might not heard of it. So that's the thing. So I want to be as accurate as I can. So if I'm saying that it's wrong, I'm always going to correct myself, do it. I'm going to do a follow-up because, like I said, I want people to enjoy my video, and I don't want to feel like, oh, you're just wasting your time watching my video because of a lot of inaccuracy. So that's the reason. So again, Endless Zone is a parody of Fantasy Zone. However, the title itself is based on a franchise, Endless franchise on Steam, developed by Amplitude. And yes, the big one here, the main event for episode 230, and that is Golden Access. So you just saw the title there. It came from Golden Axe to Golden Extend. And the story for this one is, it was a prototype that was shown to SEGA, supposed to be a modern take of Golden Axe. Unfortunately, it was canceled because, well, SEGA of Japan didn't have the confidence for this game, so they just said, well, that's it. So this is really like a prototype demo for Golden Axe, the modern one. That's why they just called it Golden Axed, because they just axed the game, you know, kind of like PT from Konami. So yeah, for this one, from what I understand, it was supposed to be more, but when I tried to play it, I couldn't even figure out how to do the magic. Maybe I'm missing something there. If someone did it, props. Yeah, so I mean, I knew people who I follow on YouTube kind of sad, like, oh my god, this game is fun. Why would you cancel it? I don't know either. I mean, look at it. I mean, first of all, if you notice, it is sort of mature themed, like there's blood. But, I mean, to some extent, some T-rating games, like, I'm gonna guess Uncharted has blood, but minor blood. So, I mean, as of right now, maybe they should give a second chance and do it, but I doubt it. SEGA right now, well, they're in a situation where they gotta make sure that what they do kinda make money, and of course, Sonic is the only thing. And of course, if you heard about it, that in 2022 there will be a new 3D Sonic game. So hopefully it's better than Sonic Force. That wasn't a bad game, but again, it's not really like, oh, you gotta play Sonic Force. But again, going back to Golden Axe, this is it. I mean, you get to play as the guy with Earth Power. I don't even know what their name is. Well, I'm not a Golden Axe expert, but yeah. So, I mean, look at it. Like, oh man, it's a missed opportunity in my opinion. But you know, Sega of Japan, they think differently. So yeah. So check this out, Golden Accent. Yeah, like again, I said, it's a missed opportunity. Yeah, the main event for this episode is Golden Accent. And what I said there that it was pitched to Sega of Japan, I wasn't really too sure. I just heard it from people that said that's what happened. But apparently, I did look it up, and apparently there was more than MCI again. And the backstory for this one, for people who don't know, is that it was developed from SEGA of Australia. However, in 2013, unfortunately, they were shut down. And the idea behind this was they were going to do some reboot for some of their classic beat 'em up franchise, such as, of course, Golden Axe. But it was actually called before Golden Axe Reborn. They actually were going to do Street of Rage at one point. Heck, there was even Alter Beast. There was a rumor about they were going to be the one that's doing it. Heck, there was even another rumor that Vector Man was them also. And the hope in the game that I just mentioned were going to be a 2.5D reboot. But again, nothing happened. And apparently, backstory about making this game, Golden Accent, was the people behind it. They were struggling. There were frustration, stressing out, to a point that, yeah, I guess business wasn't doing too good, to a point when they were shut down in 2013. The game just never been finished. They just said, let's just cancel it. So the whole point of Golden Access was a proof of concept, a prototype that was supposed to be what a reboot Golden Axe game is supposed to be. Yeah, there is that HD era Golden Axe that you play as Tyrus, the female Valkyrie, but I heard people say the game wasn't that good. And of course, like I said, there is actually a Sega Aegis version of Golden Axe, made it sort of a 2.5D. It was okay for what it is, a little bit clunky. The hitbox wasn't that good. You can actually get that under the Sega Classic Collection. And I have it for $20, Circuit City. That was a long time ago. I actually enjoyed it. I was hoping Sega and PlayStation would actually do a PS2 to PS4, but I heard that program was already canceled because, well, people kept saying it was overpriced. So they said, well, screw that. We're not going to do it for a loss. So, I mean, it is what it is. It was kind of unfortunate. It was a good idea from what I think about it. But again, when it comes to the profit, hey, because even that's the game we're doing it off it. I was hoping World Zero Anthology, but again, whatever there. And another thing about this one is the main character you play as. His name is Axe Battler. And like I said, I'm not sort of a Sega kid, so I'm not really into the history of Sega. I mean, I know sort of the basic. I mean, yes, most people know when you think about Sega is Sonic the Hedgehog, Virtual Fighter, and Yakuza, but other franchise to some extent. So, yeah, like I said, I kind of forgot what the name for the main character, the guy with the Earth Power. Yes, his name is Axe Battler, one of the main characters of Golden Axe. So again, in recap for this one is that it was a project that was made in Sega of Australia, but the company shut down in 2013. Instead of trying to pass it on to a third party, outsource or whatever, they just said, just cancel the project. It is what it is. I heard there was a lot of struggle about that game, but wasn't there any opportunity, potential about this game? Who knows? And like I said on that introductory commentaries, that I don't know if there's actually a magic button or not. I was pushing a lot of buttons. I was even trying to look for any control scheme, but nope, nothing. And I just whatever. Let's just finish the game. I mean, it's not hard. I mean, the whole point is a proof of concept. So there you go. So those are my correction commentary on my introduction commentary. I did want to do an introduction commentary from those Go Sega games, mini games, but unfortunately, when I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, this was more than MCI. Oh my god, that's a mistake in my part. And also, one last thing before I end this is, it's Go Sega, not Sega Go, but I mean, it's just a marketing title, so The reason why Go, because it looks like a 60, which is the 60th anniversary of Sega in 2020. So Go Sega, the 60th anniversary. It was a good campaign. I mean, it was awesome for what it is. But again, it is what it is there. So those are my commentary on my commentary. Trying to correct my mistake there. So hopefully I won't do this again in the future. But like I said, I felt I have to do this to give right information for my viewers. So with that, I'll see you guys later.